Hey Rose, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me this morning. Um,
Sure.
I, I love you. I've loved working with you for 9
It's
months.
almost a year. No, it's
Yeah,
almost a year. August 24th will be an entire year.
look at you. You even know the date. That's your science mind going
Yep,
there. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
sure. I turned 60 in February. I work full time. I'm at a management level. I develop fragrances for a living. Um, Grew up on the East Coast, moved out to the Midwest. This is my second stint in the Midwest. Been here for 4 years. I have one child who's 28, and I am married.
What does a typical day look like for you?
Get up, get ready, go to work. I didn't used to be a breakfast person. I became a breakfast person probably when I turned about 40. So I do eat in the morning. I do have some protein, start my morning off with protein, water, and a coffee, and more supplements than I can count at this point. And then go to work and then have lunch. Usually it's a working lunch. We're not really a lunch culture. So I end up working through lunch, but always eating usually some protein, something decent, and then go home. Usually working out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Saturday mornings. I also teach Pilates, so it's a busy life, but it's a good life.
Yeah. So your Pilates, that hobby turned into a passion and now you're certified and that's
From
exciting.
somebody who was not athletic, not 1 minute in my life, like literally not 1 minute in my life, I started doing it, and people ask me why, and I don't even have an answer as to why. I started it in 2018 just because I felt like I needed to do something, and I'm not a cardio person. And then over time, just started going from once a week to twice a week to 3 times a week. And then picking up weight training. And like, it's crazy. And then decided I wanted to teach because my philosophy was if I can help one person who thinks they can't do it, say, hey, any movement is good movement, and give it a try. There's ways to adapt. I mean, when I started my journey, I was 289 pounds. My highest weight was 309. I am now down to 237. Um, Almost first goal was 60 pounds, so I got 7 more pounds to go. But really, it's about don't sell yourself short, and don't let society tell you you can't. If
Yeah.
if you go to a place and they're not accommodating to you, then you're not at the right place.
Right. Right.
And look to a place where you feel good, where you don't feel judged, and you're just there to help to move.
Yeah. Because it's not your problem, it's their problem.
100%.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is it is absolutely society's problem, and don't make yourself feel bad for the fact that maybe you never did anything in your life. Maybe you were never physically active, or maybe you were, and then you had kids and you had a life and you had family, and there was no more time for you because you were busy giving it to everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't feel defeated. It isn't, you're not broken.
Yeah.
You're not
Well,
broken.
so what were you struggling with before we started working together, and what kind of made you decide to start this journey?
Made me decide to start the journey was I have bone on bone arthritis in both knees. And if I even considered a knee replacement, they basically told me, well, you need to lose 60 pounds before it's really safe or ideal for you to do it. So I was like, okay. And I remember the conversation, and I remember saying, all right, I'm gonna do this. And then I just started stuff. But the frustration was I was eating a lower calorie diet. I mean, to the point where I record everything every single day. So I knew what my calorie intake was. I mean, I record to the best of my ability. I'm sure it's not perfect. Um, I knew my macros, I knew my calories, and I was eating like a 1,200 calorie a day diet. And now with the increased activity, the scale wasn't moving. I mean, it wasn't going anywhere. So you kind of live in this frustration, and our society and our medical community just says, well, you know, it's some things you eat less, eat more, take another supplement, you know. And then when the weight loss meds came, I tried first one I tried was Wegovy, and I had lost an initial 30 pounds. I mean, I probably gained back 15 after I stopped, but it was funny because my primary care physician said to me, "Oh, well, 30 pounds in, you know, a year is a failure on Wegovy." And I was like, thanks. I feel so good now. And then she followed it by, well, if you want to lose, you know, the amount of weight you need to lose, the only way you can do it is bariatric surgery. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going there. I don't want to do that
Mhm.
because I know people who have done it and have then several years later gained the weight back. Like they didn't change anything. They didn't
Right.
rethink things. So I did try Zepbound. That has been more successful for me, but and I believe it makes a difference. It quiets the food noise, but it isn't a magic. You know, it's
Yeah, no, we're still working, right, on a lot of mindset stuff and how you think about food, why, when,
yeah.
how you eat. You're busy, you know, you and your husband are social, you have a lot of work,
I travel a lot for work. Yeah.
travel, dinners, business
Yeah.
dinners. You know, so that all plays
Sure.
into how you really have to work through, you know, what food means to you in a way and
Yeah.
what it does for you.
Right. Right. And I- it takes a lot of mental energy, not going to lie.
Yeah,
You know,
yes.
you think about it a lot and you think about how you were raised. You know, I come from an Italian family and it's, you know, the it's kind of like eat this, it'll make you feel better. You know, like that's kind of how you're raised in a way. Food
True.
is
I
family,
mean,
food is love. Yeah, you know, you come
yeah,
from the same kind of thing. And
yeah.
it just, I'm not a junk eater. I don't snack. I don't like sweets. I mean, other than ice cream, I can walk away from anything sweet. But I enjoy food. I enjoy good food. And it was really about portion. And I think what changed the most is I think two factors. One, um, are you satisfied? Not are you full? Are you satisfied? Have you had enough that you've enjoyed it and you're good with it? You know, the second one was okay. It's not like you're never going to have this again. You
Mhm.
know, if you eat it today and you want to have more later in the week or you can. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like it's a one shot deal. So you better eat your full now because you're never getting it again. It's not that. You know.
Right. That's so much of that all or nothing mindset that we
Mhm.
work through where you restrict so heavily and
Mhm.
then you have a lapse and you binge on the food
Correct.
because, oh, this is it. I'm never going to eat cookies again. And
Correct.
I better eat the whole darn plate of them.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, and it's just it's a terrible cycle.
It is. It is. And there's a bunch of guilt that also comes with I didn't eat well today.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't eat well today. It's not the end of the world. You aren't a bad person. You're not you it doesn't mean you lack willpower. You know, it's life. Like you have to find something that is sustainable in life for you. I've watched people around me do extreme diets. I have a colleague who is very, very dear to me, and I absolutely love her. She's kind of my adopted kid. And I've watched her go on diets to go to her cousin's wedding where she's lost 70 pounds. But guess what? She's done it by super, super restrictive dieting
Yeah.
on the various plans that are out there. And then
Hmm.
what happens? You go back to real life and because you were so restrictive both in food type and caloric intake that
Hmm.
the weight comes back on, and that's not only not good for your body but it's not good for your mind. You really it's a rough cycle.
It is, it is. And there was no work done into changing habits and
No.
building the systems to
Yeah.
help sustain those new habits.
Yeah.
Um, so what you're saying has been different about this coaching experience compared to
Yeah.
other things you've
Yeah.
done?
um yeah, having Also, it's really great to have a support system. And, whether it's your nutritional coach, which I have since learned also becomes your nutritional therapist.
Mhm.
So that's one, but also all the people who are in my life who I work out with, who have been there for me. I mean, it's like a whole separate family, and my own family is super super supportive.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. Again, this is somebody who never worked out. I never did anything. And to
Yeah.
see it now, people are just like, whoa, and my husband just thinks it's the best thing since toast. That like he can't believe that I'm doing all of this. And again, it's not like you wake up one morning and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna do whatever. It doesn't work that way. It is a
No.
constant thought process. And the other thing is, everybody is an individual. What works for one person may not work for another.
Right. So did
And
you find that in
oh
working
yeah,
through with
oh
us,
yeah,
like that
oh
this
yeah,
was 100% all about you
yes,
and your life and your
100%,
yeah.
100%. It's not a one size fits all, which is why a lot of the diets out there, they're not specialized. It's working with somebody like you who, one, is tenacious enough to figure out what's going to work for the individual person rather than just a prescription of, well, take these six different supplements, do this, do that. And
Yeah.
that may work great for somebody, but it may not work great for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's the time and the experience and the desire to help that makes a difference.
Mhm.
And knowing that you're there, and we bounce back and forth in the app with questions, we email, we text, whatever, and your response is always there. Like I said, it's your nutritional therapists and slash life coach. Sorry, that's the fact. And that's the difference, is that you're not alone, and you don't have to go down the rabbit hole of Google, or now chat GPT or whatever. You have somebody to talk to, who you can say, hey, I read this, what's that about, like, is that crazy, like, where did this come from? And you have that knowledge because you've taken the time to kind of explore all the different rabbit holes and figure it out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but the help comes in figuring out what's right for you and how to apply it to your life and the lifestyle you want to lead. So I think that like ChatGPT can't do that for you.
Nope.
Google can't do that for you. And there is no magic pill.
No.
You know,
No.
and I think as women too, we get beat down a lot in how many doctors have you gone to that
Mhm.
they run like, oh, everything looks good, but you don't feel good.
Right.
And
And
then
that I think that's the other biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone is, listen to your body. You know your body. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels off, probably is.
yeah, yeah.
And don't be discouraged by somebody, or even more important, your blood test saying, "Oh, but everything is fine."
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's things they're not measuring,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah, you got to listen to yourself.
What surprised you most about this whole process?
That it was doable.
I love that.
Because honestly, when you
I
first
love that.
start, you also listen to a whole, again, we as women, and it's tough. We have an image. We're expected to look a certain way. I'm somebody who has never been anything but plus size. And I've spent a number of years working in the beauty industry in New York. And let me tell you, that is an awakening. Okay. And I made it my sort of goal to say, even at a plus size, I can look great, I can fit in, I can be confident, I can be respected. But then when I decided that it wasn't about changing my image because I needed to please somebody else. I changed my way and wanted to be healthier because I want to be 80 and play with my grandkids.
Yeah.
I don't have them yet, but I want to get there. I want to be walking around and having a good life. You see so many people who are in their even their 70s and they're frail. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to be frail.
Quality of life. Yeah. Not only longevity, but quality when you get there are so
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that was the other thing. And the fact that, like I said, it is doable. Is it going to be easy? No. If somebody tells you it's easy, they're lying
Mhm.
or they're uneducated, one or the other. It's not easy. Just like anything in life is not easy. Raising children, being married, having relationships, managing your family, whether they're your extended family or your own family. It's never easy. It's always a level of work, and this is the same. It's a level of work.
But worth it. All of it, right?
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
the difference. I remember the first time I started like working out and started losing stuff. I did a Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving dinner's at my house, and I made it through the entire dinner, cooking, cleaning, everything, and nothing hurt.
Mhm. Well, there's something I want you to share because you we started this conversation and you started this journey because your knees hurt all the time and they weren't going to do knee replacement until you lost 60 pounds, which now you're down 70. But tell us
No,
about your knees
57,
now.
53. I'm down 53. I got 7 more to go.
Well, yeah, no, but compared to where you
Oh,
started, right?
where I was, like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
309 was the highest. Yeah.
yeah. So, but tell us about your knees now.
So, a couple of things. One, you definitely can tell that the pressure is off the joints,
Mm.
which obviously losing the weight makes a huge difference. But also, I discovered that not eating gluten changed all the inflammation in my body. I have much less inflammation, but I can also now go to Disney World and walk 6 miles a day, multiple days in a row without having to recover in between. I go with my nieces and my grandniece, and it's the world of difference. It's the world
Yeah.
of difference.
Those are
Look,
like 20,000 plus step days.
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, yeah, I wear good shoes. I mean, there's no question.
sure.
I need some cushioning. But it and I'm not tired. I mean, I'm walking around with the 40-year-old, 30 and 40-year-olds, and I'm doing better than they are. I'm like, no, what do you mean you're tired? Come on, let's go. We have more things to do. So it it does make a difference. I mean, people will tell you this your entire life. Oh, when you lose the weight, you'll see the difference. You'll feel. And they're right, but you have to be there. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to make the decision that you're worth it. You're
Right.
worth taking the time out and wanting to live a good and a healthy life if you can, more because you want to be around,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know? And
emotionally or mentally, how does that make you feel?
um makes me feel good. I mean, again, I'm not sure I believed it was possible. Because of course I've lived my life trying a bunch of different things, like, and having gone through losing 30 pounds, gaining some back, losing a little again, I've done the yo-yoing, not severely, but over time, yeah, there's no question. Like from Weight Watchers to Calibrate to Wegovy to, the bottom line is you got to find something sustainable that doesn't make you feel like you're living another life, a restricted life. You have to find a life that's practical for you, something
Mm.
that's sustainable for you, which is going to involve travel. It's going to involve holidays. It's
Yeah,
going to involve, like, and you are going to you can't say to yourself, "Oh, I can't eat that." Once you start getting into that mindset, oof, that makes
right.
you miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not a sustainable plan either.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
So
You-
what would you say you a hard question, I know. What would
Mhm.
you say you are the most proud of so far of you? Like what have you
Um, I think being able to find something that is sustainable and realizing that, you're not going to lose the weight in 5 minutes. It's not going to come off in 2 weeks. It's not healthy to come off that way. And that,
yeah.
yeah, it's a
That doesn't
journey.
stay off.
No, it doesn't stay off. And it's fine to be on the journey. Like, don't, and if it's a slow journey, so be it. As long as you physically feel good every day, which right now I think that's the biggest thing, is that I wake up in the morning with energy. And I don't want to miss my workouts. Like, I will rearrange my schedule to make sure I can get my workouts in, not because my workouts are making me thinner. They're not. They make me feel good.
Mhm.
I feel good. I feel better afterwards. My body feels better. And for
Yeah.
me, that's worth it.
But they're making you stronger.
Oh, hell yes. No, there's no
Yeah.
question about that. They are
Yeah.
definitely making me stronger.
And being a very active 80-year-old requires muscle mass,
Yeah.
and they're giving
Yeah.
you that. Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody talks about that for women. Like, you have to eat so much protein, you have to be mindful. Well,
Yeah.
and it's not just women, it's men too. You have to be
Yep.
mindful, and that, we need to do strength training. You need to do weight bearing exercises if you want to keep your bones healthy and you want to build that muscle, because age takes that away. It just is. It's the natural process.
I know.
Mm.
So for somebody sitting out there watching us and they feel the way you used to, but isn't sure if coaching with Smart and Simple is right for them, what would you say?
I'd say I'd say give it a try. It I always think, like, how many things have you tried that haven't worked?
Mhm.
And if you think about why they haven't worked, you know, um, go for it. But once you take the journey on, be ready. Be ready to think about the changes and really consider things. And again, don't worry about it being fast. It's time. I'm not 100% there. There's no way. I still have to reprogram myself when it comes to food. I still have to think about things, you
Mhm.
know.
Getting easier, don't you
Oh
think?
my gosh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
totally getting easier.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you think about it, when you learn either a language, or you learn a craft, or you learn something in your employment, like if you're, going to be a carpenter or something, it's always an apprenticeship before it gets to become normal for you, before it's in your rote memory. Think of yourself as the project, you
That's a
know,
great
and
analogy.
and let it take the time. You're not going to be perfect every day. It's not going to be, but there'll be a point where it just goes that way, where your mind just says, yeah, I'm good with this, and I won't say you won't lapse into other things occasionally. But that's also part of life. That's normal. Like, you can't, you got to go with the flow and go what works for you.
Right. Yeah. And I would say it's not a lapse. It's just the day today, and this is how the day rolled out for you today, and tomorrow's another day.
Exactly. It's going to be
Yeah.
fine.
So, what's up next for you? What's
Mm, well,
your next goal?
I'm going to keep going on the weight loss. I mean, but how can I put, it's not going to be, I'm not in a hurry to do anything. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, make sure I stay healthy.
Mhm.
I think the desire to go into teaching Pilates was really to be able to work with people who don't think they can do anything. And if I can work with somebody and give them that renewed outlook on, yeah, you can. Also, frankly, doing the teaching keeps me around, being able to move all the time, and
Mhm.
I really like that. So that's the second career goal. That's the retirement career, will be teaching.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you so
Sure.
much. And hopefully somebody out there sees how good you've done and you're somebody's inspiration.
I hope so. It's great. I mean, don't give up. And if you feel like you want to give up, call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call and have a conversation. Whether the conversation is with a Smart and Simple coach,
Mhm.
or whether it's your best friend who understands, or whether it's somebody you take classes with, or whatever. But don't give up. Go
Yeah.
have the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's light somewhere at the end of your tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's not the oncoming train, so it's a good thing.
Thank you so much, Rose.
Absolutely.